Hello everyone, this is Karen.
Hello everyone, this is Shane.
Today we have a lesson on closed test and it's called
Scientists create coral that resists heat to save reefs.
And the vocabulary words are resist.
Resist.
This watch is designed to resist damage from daily use.
Temperature.
Temperature.
The average body temperature for an adult human is around 36.5 degrees.
Starve.
Starve.
When they found the dog, it was starving.
So sad. Process.
Process.
The process to become a citizen of the country is not easy.
So we're talking about beautiful coral reefs, right?
Yes, but oh my goodness, because of climate change, coral reefs are dying.
And it's like everywhere in the world, right? Because
Yes.
the temperature of the ocean is rising.
Right.
And they can't really survive the hot temperature, right? So what are people doing? I know researchers in Australia are doing something great.
Yeah. So they've created a kind of coral,
Yes.
right? And this coral, what they've been doing is taking the algae that they can find in this coral, kind of like removing the algae, separating them, and then they put the algae into hotter and hotter water and kind of like let it evolve. So from one generation of algae to the next, it can adapt to hotter and hotter water. Once it's adapted to the hotter water, they put it back into the coral.
And which means the coral will survive the warmer temperature of the ocean.
Right, so the hotter temperature, the coral doesn't die. So if they can start doing this with other coral, then they can be able to do this and save lots of coral reefs in this way.
That would be great news because I love going snorkeling. If you go snorkeling, you really like to enjoy looking at the beautiful, colorful coral reefs.
That's right. Can you imagine if there were no more coral reefs?
I cannot.
Yeah, that's not good.
I know, that would be pretty sad.
So, yay, Australia. Good job.
All right, okay, enjoy today's lesson, guys.
Scientists create coral that resists heat to save reefs. At present, many of the world's coral reefs could disappear in as little as 30 years, largely because of rising ocean temperatures. This would be a terrible loss since coral reefs help protect coastlines from waves and floods, among other things. However, researchers in Australia have developed coral that can survive these hotter temperatures.
Hi, I'm Jeff.
Hi, I'm Hanny.
Welcome to this month's closed test lesson. Today, we're going to read about coral. Coral reefs are very important living things, living structures found in the world's oceans. Coral reefs support a lot of ocean life.
Right. Many ocean animals live in and around coral reefs. Coral is super important. Sadly, though, coral reefs are dying.
Something must be done about this. Lucky for us, there's science and scientists. Scientists might just be able to solve the problem of dying coral reefs. Which brings us to the title of this month's closed test article. Today, we're going to be reading an article titled Scientists Create Coral That Resists Heat to Save Reefs. Oh, by the way, the verb resist is the first vocabulary word of the day. If you resist something, you fight back against something, you defend yourself against something, you hold your ground against somebody or something that or who is trying to hurt or affect you. The coral that these scientists have made, it can handle heat. Yeah, it can resist that heat. The coral, it won't fight back or anything like that, but it won't be affected by this heat either. For example, this watch is designed to resist damage from daily use.
好，同学们应该多多少少都有听过珊瑚礁白化的问题吧？那么今天的课程中，我们要来看看科学家能够如何拯救珊瑚礁。补充一下 ，coral 这个字就是指珊瑚，那么 coral reef 就是指珊瑚礁。Okay, let's get started. The first sentence of our lesson says, "At present, many of the world's coral reefs could disappear in as little as 30 years, largely because of rising ocean temperatures.
There you have it. Ocean temperatures are just way too high. The water is too hot for coral reefs. Anyway, speaking of temperature, temperature is the second vocabulary word of the day. Temperature is a measure of heat. The temperature of something tells us how hot or cold something is. For example, the average body temperature for an adult human is around 36.5 degrees.
Okay, ocean temperatures are just too high. This is not a good thing for coral reefs. We cannot afford to lose our coral reefs.
This would be a terrible loss, since coral reefs help protect coastlines from waves and floods. Your options are A, in all things, B, of all things, C, among other things, or D, in other words.
好，题目的意思是，这会是非常严重的损失，因为珊瑚礁有助于保护海岸线免于海浪和洪水的侵袭。空格。好，那么这个句子里面的 coastline 就是指海岸线，而它是在考我们副词片语。先来看选项 A。In all things， 它是指说在所有事情当中，在各种情况下。那么 B。Of all things， 它是指在所有的东西中万万没想到怎么样，那是用来强调说所提到的事情最让人想不到的。那么 C。Among other things， 它是指除了别的以外还怎么样怎么样。这个用语常常用在众多事物当中提到其中一两样，那就暗示着除了提到的事物外，还有其他更多的事物。好，那么 D，in other words， 它表示换言之，换句话说。好，那我们知道珊瑚礁除了保护海岸线，当然还有许多其他的益处和重要性没有提到咯。那所以最适合的答案是 C，among other things， 就可以表达出其他的就先不提了，别的就先不说了的那种语义。So the sentence should read,
This would be a terrible loss, since coral reefs help protect coastlines from waves and floods, among other things.
Well, it would be terrible to lose the Earth's coral reefs. Ocean life might not be able to survive without coral reefs. The same goes for us. So this is a big problem.
True. However, we've got science and scientists and researchers on our side. If anyone can solve this problem, it will be scientists and researchers who do so.
I agree. Get this. However, researchers in Australia have developed coral that can survive these hotter temperatures. What good news!
I totally agree. Okay, everyone, with that, it is now time to take a break, but don't go away. We'll be back soon.
Scientists create coral that resists heat to save reefs. Coral gets its colors and nutrients from algae that live inside it, but warmer temperatures cause the coral to push the algae out. The coral then turns white and starves to death.
Welcome back to this month's clothes test. The title of our lesson, Scientists Create Coral That Resists Heat to Save Reefs, gives me hope.
Me too. The world needs coral. Life depends on coral, but coral reefs, sensitive as they are to heat, are dying because of rising ocean temperatures. Is it hopeless though? No. Why not? Because we have science.
Right. Scientists in Australia have made a breakthrough. They've created coral that can survive even in hot ocean water. Okay, let's learn some more about coral and how hot ocean water kills it.
Good idea. The next sentence of our lesson says, coral gets its colors and nutrients from algae that live inside it. But warmer temperatures cause the coral to... The algae...
Your options are A, push, out, B, cut, out, C, hand, out, or D, check out?
好，题目的意思是，珊瑚从生活在体内的藻类获得色彩和养分，但较暖的温度会导致珊瑚将藻类空格。句子里面我们看到 nutrient 就是指养分、营养物，那么 algae 是指藻类海藻，它是复数形。好，那这题是来考我们片语动词，先来看选项 A push out。当我们说 push something out 是指推出去、排出去。B cut out。当我们说 cut something out 可以表达剪裁出什么、剪下什么，或者是戒除、停止食用什么。那么 C hand out。当我们说 hand something out 可以表达分送、发放什么东西。那么 D check out。当我们说 check something out 可以表达查看或者是借书等等。那根据课文，它应该是要表达较暖的温度会导致珊瑚把藻类推出体外。当珊瑚受到高温影响，就会把它共生的藻类驱逐出去了。所以最适合的片语动词是 push out， 其他3个选项语义都不符合。那么这题答案要选 A push out。 So the sentence should read,
Coral gets its colors and nutrients from algae that live inside it, but warmer temperatures cause the coral to push the algae out.
no algae, no problem? No way! When the coral pushes the algae out, this is not good for the coral.
Right, when the algae is pushed out, the coral then turns white and starves to death, which is not good. Okay, everyone, before we can move on and take a break, we need to define the third vocabulary word of the day, starve.
Okay, if you starve, you're not just hungry. If you or any other living thing starves, you or something else die because you don't get enough food. This hunger can kill you. And coral too. For example, when they found the dog, it was starving.
Okay, everyone, with that, it's time to take another break, but don't go away. We'll be back soon with the final portion of this month's closed test lesson.
Scientists create coral that resists heat to save reefs. To fight this problem, researchers have developed algae that can handle heat better. The scientists separated the algae from the coral and put it in increasingly warmer temperatures. After each temperature increase, the algae evolved to survive the hotter water. Finally, when the scientists returned the algae to the coral too could handle the increased heat. They will next try the process with different kinds of coral. If they are successful, it will be a huge achievement in the battle to save the world's coral reefs.
Welcome back. This month's closed test has got me feeling good. Maybe, just maybe, science can solve our coral problems.
I hope so. After all, if we don't come up with the solution soon, coral reefs around the world are going to die. Thank goodness for science, and especially for those scientists and researchers there in Australia.
Indeed. Apparently, researchers in Australia have developed new coral.
And new coral algae, too. The next line of today's lesson tells us that to fight this problem, researchers have developed algae that can handle heat better.
Yep, and there's more. The scientists separated the algae from the coral and put it in warmer temperatures.
Your options are A, increasing, B, increased, C, increases, or D, increasingly.
好，题目的意思是，科学家从珊瑚中分离出藻类，并把它放在空格较温暖的温度中。那这题是在考我们字汇用法，4个选项都是动词 increase 的词类变化。那么 increase 可以当动词或当名词来表达增加。好，来看选项 A increasing， 它是现在分词 ；B increased 是过去分词。C increases 它可以当作第三人称单数的现在式动词，或者是用来当名词的复数。那么 D increasingly 它 它是副词来表达说不断增加的。那刚刚说题目是要表达放在空格较温暖的温度，我们从空格前后的字词可以判断这个空格里是要填入副词来修饰这个形容词 warmer。那当我们说 increasingly warmer temperatures 就可以用来表达越来越温暖的温度。好，那么 increase 其他词性在这里都不符合，所以我们正确答案要选 D increasingly。So the sentence should read,
The scientists separated the algae from the coral and put it in increasingly warmer temperatures. Now, some of you might be wondering how all of this works. Well, if so, here's the answer. Evolution. These scientists put algae in hotter and hotter water. And after each temperature increase, the algae evolved to survive the hotter water.
哦，原来科学家把藻类放在越来越暖的温度，是要让它演化，让它可以在比较热的水里存活。那这边补充一下 ，evolve 这个动词，它表示进化或是演变，或是使什么逐步发展。那它的名词是 evolution，evolution 它也有这种演化发展的意思。So there you have it. Evolution works.
Now these algae, they evolved successfully. Now later, this improved algae, it helped coral to better deal with these increased water temperatures. The next line says, when the scientists returned the algae to the coral too could handle the increased heat. Awesome. Oh, your options are A, finally, B, unfortunately, C, besides, or D, however.
好，题目的意思是空格。科学家把藻类放回珊瑚里时，珊瑚也能应付已提升的高温。这题是在考我们副词。先来看选项 A， finally 是指最后。B, unfortunately 表示不幸的、遗憾的。C, besides 它是指此外、而且。D, however 表示然而。好，那我们这个段落是在说明研究人员如何开发出这种能够应付高温的海藻。它描述了研究实验的这个做法过程。那题目句子提到说，科学家把藻类放回珊瑚里，然后结果是成功的。所以这一句就是在描述这个做法过程的最后步骤喽。所以这题的正确答案要选 A, finally. So the sentence should read,
Finally, when the scientists returned the algae to the coral too could handle the increased heat.
well, this process seems promising. But can we say that this problem is definitely solved? No way. These researchers need to investigate further. They will next try the process with different kinds of coral.
Oh, okay, before we read the final sentence of today's lesson, we need to define the final vocabulary word of the day, the noun process. A process is a set of steps. When you do the steps of a process in order, you'll be able to get a result, the result that you wanted, a desired result. For example, the process to become a citizen of the country is not easy.
Okay, everyone, this month's closed test is almost complete. Let's read the final sentence of our lesson. Then we'll say goodbye. Okay, as for the final sentence, it tells us that if these scientists, they are successful, it will be a huge achievement in the battle to save the world's coral reefs.
Sounds good to me. Awesome. Okay, everyone, it is now time to say goodbye. But don't go away. More fun is coming up.
Hello， 各位同学，大家好，我是建安老师。我们今天带大家看应答问题，一样是 Yes/No question。All right， 我们来看一下第二个例题喽。
Aren't there any aisle seats available?
A. I'll be free in 10 minutes. B. Unfortunately, they are all taken. C. You left it by the sink.
这一题呢，这个解题重点在哪里呢？就是这一个是否定问句开头的，对不对
Aren't there any
？Aren't there 有吗？没有吗？这样没有这个靠走道的座位的吗？
aisle seats available?
Aren't there any 什么 aisle seats available? Aisle seats available 没有靠走道的座位了吗？那接下来就要听有或没有嘛，对不对？
A. I'll be free in 10 minutes. B. Unfortunately, they are all taken.
答案是 B。
C. You left it by the sink.
Alright， 所以这边 Aren't there any aisle seats available? OK， 所以呢答案是 B 哦。Unfortunately, they're all taken。很不幸的呢，全部都被拿走了。所以这个 unfortunately 有一点点像是 no， 就有回答到这个 yes no 的问题。好，那 aren't there 跟 are there 的回答方式是一模一样的。Are there any aisle seats available? Unfortunately, they're all taken， 都是可以的。Alright， 好，那其他的就都不 OK。那为什么会有 A 这种选项？因为听到 available 除了可以取得这个东西有没有之外，它还有另外一个意思就是 free，OK， 就是有没有空。所以你听到这个 available， 你就觉得I'll be free in 10 minutes， 我在10分钟就有空，你就会很想要选下去，选下去就中招了，就错了。Alright， 那我们来看一下。是非问句呢，要特别注意的就是说呢，语句会上扬 ，OK。Aren't there any aisle seats available？ 它会往上扬 ，OK， 这个是是非问句哦 ，Alright。那是非问句呢，中间又夹杂了一个 WH 的疑问词啊，这个叫做间接问句 ，OK。好，我们来看一下这之间的差别啊。比如说一般的是非问句 ，Was that movie you saw on the weekend any good？OK， 这边它有一个上扬的，我们来听一下这个外国人念的。
Was that movie you saw on the weekend any good?
Any
Yes,
good?
I really enjoyed it.
对 ，any good， 它有往上扬哈。Was that movie you saw on the weekend any good？ 它是会往上扬的，特别注意一下。好，所以呢，这边就有一个非常重要的技巧要出现了啊，注意听啊，听到就赚到了。如果呢你在听的时候呢，突然恍神了，脑袋浆糊，或者你突然想到你的男朋友或女朋友。然后就我刚刚没有听到，但是呢，你还依稀记得它是它是往上扬的 ，OK， 它的语调往上扬，你就知道啊，这一题是 yes no 的问句 ，yes no 问句知道怎么处理啊？你就是用 yes no 去回答，它是一个是非问句，就听一下有没有 yes no 的这个选项，或者是呢 yes no 的同义词的这些选项，选下去 ，OK， 至少比瞎猜还要来得好一点 ，OK， 间接问句听起来怎么样呢？听听看。
Do you have any idea when the new Iron Man movie will be on DVD?
Will
Probably next week.
On DVD? Do you have any idea when the new Iron Man movie will be on DVD? 是不是往上扬一点点 ？OK， 好，所以这样应该就很清楚了啊。那之前我们有讲到嘛 ，Yes No 的这种问题呢，不一定用 Yes No 回答，因为它会直接就丢出来嘛，哈。好，比如说这个 Have you seen my cell phone？ 有没有看到我手机 ？Yes, it's near the printer。你也可以把这个 yes 不要看嘛，就变这边哦 ，it's near the printer 就直接收就好了哈，就是以这个懒惰为最高指导原则啊。No, I have no idea where it could be. Yes, no， 这个 no 也可以拿掉。I have no idea where it could be， 我不知道在哪里。OK， 好，那要特别注意哦。但 yes no 开头的答案呢，我们只能回应到 yes no 的问题啊。这句话再帮大家翻译一下，也就是说，我们不能用 yes no 去回答什么。WH 这些疑问词 what 啦 when 的这一些问题啊是不行的 ，yes no 只能回答 yes no 的这种问句 ，OK？ 但是呢 ，yes no 的问题不一定要用 yes no 去回答，希望大家可以听得懂这个东西哦。All right， 所以你看到这里有没有 ？Where can I buy a jacket like that？ 这边哪边可以买得到像这种外套呢？这是一个 WH 的。问句对不对？你可以用 yes no 回答吗？不行 ，OK， 所以 no 再见 ，yes 再见啊。In a department store, C，OK， 好，所以这样应该对照着看了。如果你还是听不懂的话，你就暂停，然后看一下这个画面，看一下就会懂了。以上是我们今天的课程内容，我是金安老师，我们下堂课见，拜拜。
See you next time.